Hey everybody, this is Stephanie with Energy Aligns, and this is my Thursday Tarot Insight. So every Thursday I show up here, I pick one tarot card that highlights and harnesses the energy of the collective. And then I talk about the energy through the cards, images, and meanings, and how it's showing up for us, and then how we can use the energy as individuals in order to tune in and work with it in order to create more ease for ourselves, because the collective energy is what it is. And right now, you've been probably feeling it. It's ramped up for January. All the holidays, 2024 is back. It's closed. And here we are. Here we are, 2025. And this week, last week as well, has moved quickly. And you'll see it in the card I pulled today, which is the Seven of Wind. So the wind is about our intelligence, our mind, the energy that we use to think, but also the energy kind of going around that helps us create meaning, and definition, and helps us also to have agreements on the mental level of things. And the seven, if you've shown up for some of my tarot insights in the past, the seven, we're on the tail end of a cycle where we're like being asked, is this the learning? Is this the lesson you signed up for? It's a check-in. And yes, it is the lesson and energy we sign up for when we check in, but it wants to show itself. The lesson wants to really show itself at the seven in the cycle of 1 through 10 and say, hey, just to remember, you're in a cycle of learning something new and growing. And here it is. It might not be exactly what you thought. It might be a little bit confusing right now, but we're still on the track. And that's what's happening with the Seven of Wind. So a lot of chatter, a lot of chaos. If you just look at the card, if you want to pause the video and take a look at this card and take a minute or two to intuit what you intuit from this card before you listen to everything that I'm going to say here. And it might be the same, it might be a little bit different, it might be personal to you. So I encourage you to try that in these videos. So here we have the seven. A lot of chatter, a lot of chaos, kind of like scrambling energy, a lot of talking. Okay, so the name of this card is called Many Tongues. There's a lot of information being thrown around. So it's easy right now to get really confused and to kind of get caught up in the collective confusion, things, this or that, or there's so much going on, and what do you think about it? And somebody telling you what they think about it, and it left, right, from the news, from your family, from your community, in your job, in all areas of your life, as the collective energy is ramping up here. So as we're moving out of the old, right, we kind of need something to hold on to all the time with our thoughts. We need something to rely on. We need something to believe in, right? And the old is moving out. So we're not quite sure. And it's a little bit confusing, and it's a little bit unnerving, and it's a little bit chaotic. So, the masses are looking. They're looking for something to cling on to. Masses meaning our collective, right? And it's natural. It's natural when you move out of something old and you start going into something new. We're already moving towards it. And yet our whole systems, our energetic systems, our emotional systems, our physical systems are kind of like, and you might have spent the last couple weeks in a little bit of like, I don't really know what's going on. I'm a little bit confused. I don't know what to focus on. And so we need something to focus on. It's important to have something to focus on. But typically the ones, in kind of power in our collective, typically they're the ones kind of navigating it through messages in the media, through, school, through what we kind of have agreed to believe in whatever culture or society that you're in, but also on a universal level, right? What do we believe in and what do we not believe in? What I'm saying is that typically we look to those who have more certainty and power via, politics or the media to kind of tell us what to think, what to believe, and that's okay. But they have done that in the past in order to gain control. So this is ramping up on these levels now. Politics is getting crazier, and the news and the media. So they're trying to kind of reel us all back in as a collective consciousness, agreeing on these things. But the old ways don't work anymore. They don't work quite the same way anymore. So what's happening now, what I've talked about in the last few weeks to maybe even months, is that it's on a more personal level that we have to step up now. We have to step up and find the thing that is going to be our shining sword. It's going to be our touchstone. That's a better word for it. Our touchstone, so we can be like, okay, I know what I'm going to believe in. And it could be small, it could be big, but the ones kind of in power want it to be big. They want everybody on board, everybody. And we're not all on the same page at the moment. And so it's, like I said, unnerving. So when I say it's more personal, meaning as individuals, we are seeing ourselves, right? We're seeing ourselves as important. We're seeing us as important. Yay, for us as energetic beings, we are important. We are shifting from a flock mentality into understanding and truly believing that we are sovereign beings, that as individuals, we are very, very powerful and are powerful as a part of the whole. And we haven't gotten our footing down in this yet. This is the transition that we're making, and it's a lot to do with this year. We haven't said like, here I am, here's what I believe. I trust in my intuition. I trust in my spirit. I trust in myself as a sovereign being. Not every single person is doing that, but we are being asked to do that. And so we'll talk about that when I talk about bringing this energy into our individual lives. So this looks like creativity and new ways, dreaming, thoughts arising from the quieter and deeper places within ourselves. So here we are. We have to stay focused because this information, it doesn't belong to us. It's not yours. It's someone else's. But this information and all the information you have access to beyond what we conceived of up to this time in our collective consciousness is our information and has many, many possibilities beyond what we've been doing, how we've been being as spirits in the body, as energetic beings, but also as that comes down in or expands out within ourselves into the physical. So it's just important for us to try as much as possible to stay focused in the fact that we're moving into something new and the old ways aren't working. So in December, the end of December, I was reading a card about, the old ways were kind of turning towards the new. The old ways don't feel as right for us anymore. And so we're turning towards the new. And so when things start to be old to us, not feel aligned for us, not feel energetically connected for us, we most of the time have a phase where we're longing for it to be that way again. And that's okay. It's okay for us as individuals and us as a collective to say, I'm really sad that doesn't feel like it used to anymore. And I want it to. And when you start to realize it just doesn't, and there's not much you can do about it, then we have a process which is typically called grief, where we let go. And when we let go of something energetically, physically, there is a grieving process, and allowing yourself to kind of move through the motions of that as a collective and as individuals. It's super important. And as people, we just want to go on to the next thing so quickly. And yes, it's there. It's coming. We're going to get energized. We're going to get new energy, all the things. But there's a lot of information and meaning and depth in that in between, where we go, it doesn't feel so great. I want it to, and it's not going to. I realize that. It's an awareness. It's not going to ever be the same again. And so then we have a process of grieving before we can fully open up to the next thing. So here's the thing. We don't have to do any of these things. We don't have to go through that process to get to the new thing. The new thing's coming, but there are lessons and depth and information to be learned through it. So if you're watching a Tarot Insight with me, or you're working with energy, or you're meditating, or you're wanting something more, or you're wanting to understand what is really going on inside of you, these are things that you can do to access that information, to go deeper in yourself, go deeper in your life, in your connections. Okay, so that's why I give this information. So the last thing I want to say about this is the newness, it comes through us as individuals first. So I'm going to talk about how we can bring this energy down and in, or tap into this 7 of wind energy in us, because the collective is all of us together, but we are part of the collective. So what we bring to the table, when we say, I want to know more, I want to feel more, I want to be here more fully, then we're stepping into our role in a different way than going, well, just tell them, kind of just like lambs, right? Like sheep. Just like, I just know somebody's going to tell me what to do. And those things are fine. Those times are fine for us. But here we are in a new area of evolution where we're being asked to step into our responsibility fully, step into what you want. What do you want to see? What do you want to see for yourself? What do you want to see for the collective? How do you dream, create, write? All of these things are going to be energizing. They're going to tap into this energy. So more ways we can tap into the 7 of wind here is stay focused. Okay, dream right, like I said, make lists. Stay on task as much as you can, because this energy is very distracting and it's very confusing, and it's throwing you off. It throws me off on a day-to-day where I'm like, okay, I make my lists, and it doesn't mean you have to get everything done, but it keeps you focused. It keeps you on track. So lists in regard to projects, lists in regard to dreams, lists in regards to goals. So this is just a fun way to keep yourself focused, okay? And the other thing to do is to write things down. Okay, so writing our dreams, writing down our desires, writing down what we want to see, writing down our creative thoughts, projects, ideas we might have. I talked about this in the last Tarot Insight. When we dream and we put our desires from inside of us into something, it brings us closer to them. It doesn't mean that that exact desire is going to always manifest exactly, but what it does mean is that you're putting the energy on that level, and it's fun. And who doesn't want to be in that fun energy versus, I hope things change. I hope that this doesn't turn out to be a disastrous year, or whatever your thoughts have been. So this is just a step in making this connection to you as a sovereign being, as a creative, energetic being, real, alive. It gives it fuel and food to keep going. Okay, all. So I'm going to end it here, and I'm going to wish you all such love and deep awareness. Here we are in 2025. The energy just kind of like even shifted from last week when I did my Tarot Insight. It's just, and I don't know if you can feel it. I'd love to hear your experience. Are you feeling energized? Are you feeling a shift? Were you like, I don't know what's going on, to like all of a sudden having a little bit of clarity or focus or drive? This is not for everybody that this is happening, but energy is out there for us as a collective. So you might not have the energy or ability to just be like, I want to jump in. You might not be feeling that, and that's okay. That's why I talk about, writing things down, staying focused internally. It's not to go out and do. That's not really the message here. It's saying, I am going to tap into myself. And the best way, the easiest way, the way I always say is spend quiet time. 5 minutes at least a day where you're closing your eyes and you're bringing your awareness and focus internally. You can create a grounding cord. You can just have slow, deep breaths. You can listen to a meditation, a guided meditation. Check out my website. I have a bunch of guided meditations that are not too long, that keep you grounded and looking with your internal eye. And that's what's being asked of us over and over and over again. So the more you start cultivating that, the more you start working that muscle, the more in tune we're all going to be. This isn't just about one of us. This is about all of us. Okay. I thank you for watching, and I will see you next week. Okay. Take care, everybody. Bye.